Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com. In today's video, I want to show you how to use a drill press. So we've got this little mini benchtop drill press here, and this is all I use because I don't use a drill press a whole lot. But whether it's a big one or a little one, really the main differences are on the size of the motor and the distance between the chuck and the table base are really the main differences. And I suppose the distance, the throat distance here as well, from the support pole to the center of chuck. In my case, like I said, I don't need a lot of size for the drill press, so this is what I use, and it's basically has all the same functions and settings as most of the bigger ones. So on most of them, basically what you're going to have a chuck that looks just like an old school drill chuck, where you need a key here to tighten and loosen it. You're going to have a handle here on the side that you rotate to make the actual depth adjustment, or the actual drilling motion into whatever you're drilling. You're going to have an on-off switch of some kind. You're going to have, on one side or the other, you'll have probably some kind of adjustment, some stops here to adjust for the depth of bore that you're doing. So that can be adjusted. You're going to be able to adjust your table sideways, like tilting this way. And you're also going to be able to adjust it for the height, the amount of distance between the bottom of the chuck and the table surface. Now, it's kind of hard to probably tell here, but generally your drill press is going to come with an iron base, probably a cast iron base, which is right here. Sorry, not the base, but the table. And mine's a lot bigger. I've just put a sacrificial wood one on here. So if I'm cutting holes or whatever, I can, come through what I'm drilling and touch this surface without hurting the drill bit or the instrument that I'm using. Where if you do that with the cast iron one, you've got to be a lot more careful to stay within the little hole that they have in there. So anyways, yeah, I just screwed a piece of scrap on there right onto the existing table that it came with. So we've got that. Then also, most of them are going to be set up with a motor hanging off the back here, and you're going to have a pulley system on top of that. I'm just going to unplug this. So we've got the pulley system here. You've got a set of pulleys right on the direct drive on the motor, and you've got a set of pulleys on the spindle drive out here. And inside the lid, pretty well all of them come this way, is you're going to have some kind of tag that explains the different RPMs you can get depending where you've got the belt situated on these two pulleys. And also on this one, it shows you the speed range for different materials you're cutting and the size of hole you're cutting. Usually if you're just cutting all steel or all wood or whatever, you're probably going to find a happy medium, and you probably will hardly ever change this if you're cutting the same kind of materials all the time. But if you need to, the information's here. You just simply, you'll have a knob that adjusts the tension of this belt by rotating the motor, so you just loosen that off, move the belt where you need it, tighten it up again. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it this way. Now in a drill press, you can put anything pretty much in here that any other drill can use. So you've got all kinds. You've got twist bits, you've got a Forstner bit, spade bit, you could put hole saws, you can use these little spindle sanders. Any of this stuff that'll fit in your size of chuck here, it will work. So I'm just gonna put a simple twist bit in here. So you just wanna open your chuck up until the shaft of your, whatever you're putting in there is gonna fit. Get it just kind of hand snug tight. Tighten it up with your key. I'm gonna plug it back in. Safety wise, I should mention this, safety-wise, you want to be careful. This is spinning at a pretty high rate of speed. In this case, I think we're set up at about 1100 RPM. So you want to make sure you don't have loose clothing that's going to get wrapped around there, long hair, make sure it's tied back, those sorts of things. I don't like to wear rings when I'm doing anything outside of going out for supper. So, all that kind of stuff, jewelry, keep it away from there. Anything that's going to get wrapped around this, you just don't want to be close. Not a bad idea to be wearing safety glasses. Hearing protection, not always a must, but if you're drilling through some iron or something and it's squealing, the friction noise and stuff, you might want to just throw some ear protection on as well. So the first thing you want to do, you've got your bit in there. First thing I want to do is I just want to turn it on and off real quick, and just make sure that whatever I've got in here for a tool is spinning nicely and isn't wobbling all over, that it's in crooked. So that looks pretty good. There's a little wobble there, but that's just the wobble that's in my spindle. So then you want to adjust your work surface so that you have enough room to get whatever you're drilling or sanding or whatever you're doing in between the two. You would adjust your depth gauge if that was something you needed. You know, maybe you're only drilling in 3/4 of an inch or whatever. Set that all up. You want to make sure you're holding your working material on the table nice and solid. I'm kind of working backwards here. I don't know what's the best way to show you. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clamp it just to be sure, which never hurts. So clamp your material, hold it well with your other hand. Make sure you got clothes, hair, everything else away from the machine before you turn it on. We'll turn it on, make our cut. So you're just letting the tool do the work. I'm not forcing that, I'm just letting it work its way right through there. Okay, so like I said, depending on what type of instrument you've got in there, what type of bit you've got in there, and what job you're trying to do, will depend on exactly how you set this up. But that's all the basic adjustments there for a drill press. And like I said, no matter what size yours is, all the basic adjustments will pretty much be the same. So I'm glad that you found our video, and I hope that what we showed you here is useful and enjoyable. And if it is, I'd like you to click the thumbs up button below if you wouldn't mind. And if you have any questions about what we did or anything else, some project you're doing, you can always go to our website and post that question up on our forum, and I'll be sure to get an answer off to you as soon as I can. And any other the social media things we got going on, Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, like I said, the forum and the website, you can check all the links out for those in the description below the video. Thanks a lot for watching.